Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Silver. Our guest today is my good friend Mike Melissinos of Melissinos Trading. His investment firm employs a systematic trend following approach that is incredibly unique. Mike, welcome back to Wall Street Silver.
Good to see you. How are we
Yeah,
going?
great. I'm doing great. I wanted to get you on and just talk to you about everything that's happening in the markets, the craziness. Let's start off, I guess, with what's concerning you or what's on your mind right now.
Ah, you know, okay. We got the election out of the way.
Right.
Great. Everyone, at least in New York City, was walking around like a zombie for 2 days because I think everyone was just so stressed. Uh, Starting to get, the edge back, which is good. People getting angry again. That's okay. People come back to life. But um, jokes aside, I think what I guess I'm looking at is, we were talking last week how like the markets are kind of weird.
Right.
We've got bonds kind of in this stagnating area. We have like 2 years, 2 year treasury, short-term treasuries going down, bond prices going down, so yields going up, even though they started, at least the Fed and some other banks have started cutting rates.
Right.
So that's confusing. And and as they've moved kind of their mandate more away from the CPI inflation figures to the jobs market. Now, the jobs has been softening, but the employment rate is hanging steady. So we need to, I think we're getting another report fairly soon. I'm not a fundamental trader, so I'm not on top of all the events that happen, but
Right.
that's supposed to be occurring soon. But today's inflation number was in line, which um, which supported further cuts. All right, inflation's not ticking up again, where they need to pause rate cuts. So it's still like kind of it's stagnant. Which way bonds at least are going to go here, and then we also have to weigh. Okay, if jobs market's softening, uh, and there are other elements that might, overvalued stock market, or it's who knows what other elements
Right.
can swoop in and become important. We just don't really know until we know.
Right.
But let's say that we get a softening in the economy. GDP starts to languish, right? These tariffs that Trump has in place doesn't go as well, and people start doing less business, and bond yields remain fairly steady. There's some clarity in the future, so people start to shift back to bonds more. This more
Right.
flight to safety. It's all a big puzzle. I mean, you can never predict, but that can push bonds back up. Um, and I know bonds have been struggling also because of the worries about the deficits.
Are you seeking a secure, truly offshore solution to protect your wealth? Whether you're invested in gold, silver, or other precious metals, strategic wealth preservation is the strategic storage choice. Located in the Cayman Islands, SWP offers a state-of-the-art 6,000 square foot facility purpose-built to safeguard your assets with unparalleled security and privacy. Why choose the Cayman Islands? This premier jurisdiction has zero taxes on stored precious metals, no reporting requirements, and complete peace of mind, making it the ideal solution for investors looking to diversify internationally. At SWP, your metals are fully segregated, allocated, and insured. You can buy online or in person. Plus, SWP has a dedicated logistics team that facilitates the global transportation of your precious metals from almost anywhere in the world. Learn more about SWP and how they can help secure your precious metals offshore. Visit swpcayman.com or call them today, and the link will be in the description below. Thanks.
And okay, well, they're just going to keep printing and yada yada yada, and
Right.
this isn't going to be good for the integrity of the U.S. Treasury. So bonds just continue to get sold. And I guess we're going back to doing good, having good business policies and this and that and the other with
Right.
Trump, and it's going to be easier money. Okay, so stocks keep rocking. It's kind of strange right now, but the two areas that are especially benefiting lately are what we've been talking about: precious metals, especially gold and silver, and Bitcoin. and crypto in general.
You
He's
see,
talking about waiving no capital gains on
right,
crypto. That's a new one today.
right.
Um,
What does that mean for the
he
crypto space?
he says crazy ass shit. Like who the hell knows what he can do, right? But these things he says really moves the markets, at least in the short run. So, um, and just the regardless of that,
Right,
um, if the U.S. government, the Treasury, they or the Federal Reserve, they want to make a Bitcoin line item on their balance sheet. All right. Well, and I think they were talking about that um, in recent weeks too. They're gonna buy uh, X amount of Bitcoin over the next 5, 10 years or something like that. So
right.
okay, there's this U.S. government bid. Okay, that's a pretty good bid to have under
Yeah,
the
that's right.
asset class. So um, you know, uh,
It's all
there's still a lot of
distorted, I feel.
confusing areas.
I feel like it's
Sorry.
distorted. The
Yeah.
market is quite distorted, no?
I mean, I think it's usually distorted.
Right, right,
Rarely do we ever know what the actual value is. And you always have this dynamic between fundamental traders and trend followers that fundamentals are buying below when they see the value here, the market's here, they buy because they think it has to go up here because the market will eventually see what we see. And the trend traders are like, hey, we see a trend, buy that trend. So we get this overshoot, but we
right,
get these massive overshoots and these massive overvalued markets at times when you have moral hazard and the ability to print money and buy shit with it.
right.
Like those two things will send things into the stratosphere. So, that's a new one. Maybe more, recent months too, where the CAPE ratio, the Shiller PE, they're creeping up on .com levels, evaluation. And it's just, hey, it could break the record. And it
Right,
probably will. It can. So you just don't know how high it can go. And and so don't let these things limit you, right? It's been this in the past, so this is where it's always going to be in the future. The
right,
top is the absolute top, and no, because we see with Bitcoin and gold right now, they're at all-time highs, and there's no charts for these things, right? There's no
right.
resistance levels for these markets because they're breaking new ground. So
New territory.
it's new territory, and when the market is willing to pay a price they've never paid for something before, that is important. And the only way you can really, I think, make money from this is to go with the trend with a stop loss, with manage, you have to manage risk somehow just in case uh, it
Are
reverses
you
at some
going with
point.
the trend right now for cryptos?
Oh yes,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
me
yeah.
too.
Full
Me too.
disclosure, I'm long both Bitcoin and Ether futures. I only trade the futures. I'm not super confident with the exchanges. The crypto exchanges. I manage client money too, so I would never put client money with an unregulated exchange like that. I
Absolutely.
want it with the futures, and you can get there's really good liquidity
Right.
trading those. So
Would you
yeah.
take profits from cryptos and put them into gold and silver right now? What would be your idea there?
I wouldn't, but it doesn't
No.
mean, what do I know?
Right.
I like to spread my bets out. I'm more of a make a lot of bets, make a lot of small calculated bets, and then ride each one individually. So right now I do have all four of those, and I have a lot of other ones
Hmm.
too, a lot of other positions and other asset classes too. So no, I don't like to get into the business of, hey, I think this one's gonna be stronger. I'm gonna take some from over here,
And put over
another
there.
position, and put it over there. Um, I think some people have some success with that. They can, they're more in the business of picking winners, making big bets,
Right.
um, big concentrated bets. And hey, if it works out, they make movies about you. But if they don't, you're out of business and no one knows who you are. So,
That's
they
good.
might make movies about you then too. So,
Yeah.
I'm not interested in overweighting positions just because it's trending a little better. I'm really trying to make a lot of bets in a lot of different markets. And you hey, sometimes they correlate and sometimes they don't. Again, you don't really know until it starts to happen. But no, I'm not shuffling any capital around right now. I'm very comfortable with my long positions in each of those markets. So they're doing well at the moment. So I hope they
Right.
keep doing well. Hope
Yeah,
they keep doing well. Yeah.
I absolutely agree. It's very strange times in the markets, and I feel like not only is there's still an uncertainty, I feel like it's just a very weird time with after the elections, and it's great with personally, I think it's great with Trump and what accomplishes that what he'll say he'll do. But do you think he can fix the problem or no? At the end of the day, he doesn't print the money. He's not a central bank. He can't control, like, you can't really control it. But can he just help mitigate it, or how do you think he can help fix it?
Mm. I don't think there's unless you there are a couple of factors at play, I believe, that can contribute to inflation.
Right.
One, the regulations that stifle competition, right? And the winners are the big companies that can continue to pay politicians to keep regulations in
Stifling.
place to
Yeah.
keep newcomers from entering the field.
Right.
The ability to print beyond tax revenue. If you have a Federal Reserve, and that's what it's for, is the ability for the gov to loan the government money to spend money beyond the money it takes in from taxes.
Right.
So if you could spend beyond that, you're always going to have deficits. You're always going to have a debt. So if he's not doing those two things, and you need to do them all, you need to do that, and then you need to take the income tax rate or the tax rate down um, for everyone, which is what he says he wants to do. But I don't know. You got to be no. I don't think he could do it because uh, it's just integral to the system to have income taxes because that is what the collateral the Fed takes from the government. Like, hey, if you can't
Right.
pay, then we get your tax money. So
Right. Yeah,
that
it's
ain't happening.
crazy.
No, no, it's just
But
part of the design.
what he
So
can do is take out certain regulations that stifle competition, and of course reduce
sure,
deficit, reduce
sure.
deficits.
I think yeah, I think he can. Will he? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Who
Exactly.
knows?
Who knows?
Um, I think a lot of these, I think we're all building to like some sort of awakening of like, yeah, we know something's wrong. We feel something's off. Like, why, what's the reason behind this inflation? And still people don't even talk about the Fed. They
Yeah. No.
talk about something else.
Right. You're absolutely
It's
right.
just like that is the issue.
Yeah.
Like you can't, how could you spend beyond your income and expect and then give it out to people, give it to banks and give it to funds and give it to countries to spend on stuff? How do you expect things not to go up?
Right.
And then people, normal everyday people just want to, go to work and provide for their kids. They're caught in the crosshairs of this nonsense. And they're like, what the heck's going on, fellas? My grandfather was talking about Yankee tickets and they were $10. Now they're 2 grand to go to a game. It's like, what the
Yeah.
heck is going on here? And
And
people just don't,
I
yeah.
think Henry Ford said it the best. He said he's like, if Americans really found out how the money system worked, he said, I fear there will be a revolution by the morning.
Yes. And there will be at some point. I hope it's a non-violent one.
Right, right,
But you can only push people so far. You start taking food away from them. I think that's another saying too, right?
right.
People are 3 meals away from chaos at all times, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, you can only push people and, suck all the money up for yourselves so much before the people around you start to look at you and like, oh, how come you're doing so well and we're not doing so well? Like, what's
Right,
going on here?
right,
And I think we're getting to that point. I'm not saying we're going to get to that point soon, but I think we are trending there. It could be another 50 years or
right.
more,
Oh yeah.
before we get to something like that. But I feel like that's one thing too. I think even with Trump, um, everyone seems to believe they voted on the issue of inflation. And, people in my area, like, New York City, and say like wealthy areas in general, where there's a lot of wealthy people,
Right.
they don't care about the inflation, right?
No,
They're
they
sending they're sending they're sending kids to school for, 20, 30, 50, 40 grand. They're like, this, money's not a thing to them really. Like they don't
right, right.
notice the price of eggs,
No.
but a lot of people do. So they don't vote on those issues. But a lot of people do. And I feel like a lot of people, at least have I've heard, because I've asked them, uh, what do you think he's going to be able to do? Oh, he's gonna fix the inflation. I go, all right. So I feel like that's going to be an awakening. Like, oh, he can't do anything about
Right,
that.
because he doesn't own the
Um,
banks. He doesn't own
and
central
and
banks.
yeah, and I'm like, maybe he gets lucky, and we, we take some regulations down. Who the heck knows?
Right,
Maybe
right, right.
maybe we can get lucky, but um, I feel like the the number one, the highest odds way of deflation, disinflation occurring is if we get a recession or
Yeah.
worse.
You got to go through
And
that pain.
and then if that happens, great. Your your costs go down, but your likely income's going down. So
There's a Great
we don't want
Depression.
that either.
Yeah.
We don't want that either. And then I think probably part of the so many different factors, but another one is the deglobalization, moving things away from
The US dollar.
manufacturing, hiring slave workers over there to package and produce all of our inventions over here to send it back over here, you know, that's going to be, I think, inflationary as well, over time as
Yeah.
well, until we get to a point where we can afford to work for less money. But right now we can't.
Right.
They can in China because they hire 7-year-olds to make iPhones,
Yeah.
and work them to death. But like, you're not going to do that to 25-year-olds here,
Yeah. You're not going to have that in
or
America.
just regular citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, again, so many different factors. But I think one hunch I have is that inflation's not going to go down. It's going to
Yeah.
hang steady. It's going to even maybe increase, and barring a recession or something like that,
Right.
because that will take it down. Then I think it will. But um, that, people will wake up, over the coming years here and say, oh yeah, yeah, Trump can do that either. So, yeah, so what is the thing? What do we need to do to remove this inflation and
Right. Fix
make
the
life
system.
affordable, more affordable again? Like, oh, let's
Yeah.
take a look at something else. I don't
Yeah.
think we're there yet, but I think we could get there
Yeah.
over
No,
the next coming years. Yeah.
you absolutely nailed it, Mike. Like what you said in this interview has been spot on. Yeah, and it's just crazy where we're heading. But I want to thank you so much for coming down to Wall Street Silver first and foremost. Every time you
Yeah.
come on, it gives me a big smile because we talk about some great topics. But as the market develops, I would really, really love to have you back. Where could people connect with you, though? I'll put the links in the description.
On Twitter, M Melissinos. Just look up my name, Mike Melissinos. Same
Okay.
on LinkedIn, Mike Melissinos, and go to the website for my investment management firm, Melissinos Trading. And yeah, refer to the notes because it's just too long to spell. It's Greek. As I said
Yeah.
last week, it's Greek. It's tough. It's a long name, so it's tough to spell.
No
Yeah,
worries. Everyone, I highly recommend please go follow Mike. And thank you for watching today's episode. Please hit the subscribe button. And yeah, Mike, thank you again for coming down to Wall Street Silver.
got it, man. Thanks for having me. Talk
Talk
soon.
talk to you soon.